This is Joanne B. from My Favorite Things with this week's Feature Friday. Today we're going to be cutting fabric with the My Favorite Things Die-namics dies. Today I'm going to show you how to use a product called Heat and Bond, which I picked up at my local craft store. I was sure to grab the light version in case I want to sew through it. I won't ruin my sewing machine. Adhering Heat and Bond to the fabrics will allow a smooth cut when using my Die-namics dies. I've reached for cotton canvas, some fabric scraps, and a piece of burlap. To begin with, you're going to open up your package of Heat and Bond, and you're going to trim out roughly the shapes you're going to need. Here you can see I've trimmed out 2 pieces of fabric and a piece of burlap, and a piece of cotton canvas is coming in a minute. Be sure to read the package instructions, but what I'm going to do here is turn on my iron, and it's important that it's not on the steam setting. You want just a dry iron. I'm doing it over a piece of paper so that any excess adhesive doesn't get on my ironing board. And for just one quick run over with the iron, it takes about 2 seconds, and it will adhere the adhesive. Now I'm going to do the burlap, put the burlap down, put the adhesive against the burlap and the paper facing up, and a quick heat. And this fuses the Heat and Bond to the fabric of your choice. The purpose of the Heat and Bond is it acts as a stiffener so that when you'll get a nice clean cut. I like to use a Vagabond. This will also work with a Big Shot. Those are the 2 machines I use. I'm just running it right straight through with the cutting blade pressing down into the fabric. And I like to run it through forwards and backwards. It's not necessary, but I always like my panels to end up where they started. And now you see when I remove the die, I have a nice, cleanly cut, no frayed edges on my die cut. Simply peel off the paper backing, and now it's still nice and flexible and pliable, but you don't have any of those ragged edges. And since I've cut 2, here's the second. The process works exactly the same with the canvas. I'm going to place the canvas down with my blade cutting face down into the canvas. I'm going to add a cardboard shim. What this is going to do is just an extra little piece of cardboard in my stack, and that's going to apply just a little bit more pressure on the die up against the fabric to assure it cuts cleanly straight through. And I've run it through my Vagabond machine, remove the die, and voila, a perfect canvas little scallop. Peel off the backing and it's ready to go. Now I'm going to repeat the process with my burlap. Since a little bit heavier, I'm actually going to apply 2 layers of cardstock into my sandwich stack. You just want to be sure to not force any extra material through. If you start to send it through your machine and you find that it's too thick, stop immediately and try with just the single piece. This is some really thin cardboard, so I knew it would go through just fine. Again, this increases the pressure on the blade up against the fabric to assure a nice clean cut. And as you can see, I'm going to lift up the die, and I have a perfect little burlap scallop, which again I'll peel off the backing and it's ready to use. For my finished sample, I've added a burlap rolled rose using our Die-namics large rolled rose. Thank you so much for joining us today. Please visit us at mftstamps.com.